Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedule to rock and roll with us here on Giants Now as we're about to roll through Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. He had an interesting player being selected number 6 overall. I'll share my thoughts. I'll let you know who the player is, and I'll let you know who I would have liked to see in the Giants draft in this certain situation. But the offseason's here. Free agency's a couple of months away, and before you know it, it'll be draft night. So if you want more mock drafts, if you want more NFL draft content, hit that thumbs up icon so I can tell Patrick Seaman we got to do more draft content. Alrighty, with the season over, the NFL draft is set for the first round. The Giants, as currently constructed, at least the first round is currently constructed, the Giants are going to pick 6th in the NFL draft unless they trade up or a team trades or they trade down in this instance. So who do they take? I think the Giants have multiple needs. I think they need another quarterback. I think they need to improve the offensive line. I think they need another edge rusher. I think they need another weapon on the outside. Can they fix one of those holes with pick number 6? Let's find out what Mel Kiper said. Well, number 1 overall, he has Caleb Williams, superstar quarterback coming out of USC. I think it's a lock that Caleb Williams will go 1, whether it's to the Bears or whether it is to another team. Caleb Williams, in my opinion, will be the first player selected, and rightfully so. I think he is going to be a generational quarterback in this league. If the price is right, I'd go up and trade up for him, and I'd go to work. Number 2 overall for Mel Kiper. This is somewhat of a surprise, in my opinion. Jaden Daniels going number 2 to the Washington Commanders. I actually joked a couple days ago saying I think the Commanders will commander and do the Jaden Daniels thing, and I don't think that's a bad pick, but I think him ahead of Drake May, who ended up going number 3 overall to the New England Patriots, is a little bit out of whack. I think Daniels may have a higher ceiling than Drake May, but Drake May's floor, in my opinion, is going to be a winning starter in this league. My quarterback rankings goes Caleb Williams, Drake May, then Jaden Daniels. Mel Kiper, he had this order, though. Number 4 overall, the best position player in this draft, Marvin Harrison Jr., the superstar wide receiver. I think he's going to walk into this draft, and not only as the best receiver, I think he'll walk into the NFL and be a top 10 receiver by the end of his rookie year. Number 5 overall, the Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock. And Mel Kiper's got them taking Malik Neighbors, the yards after catch machine, the do-it-all wide receiver, lightning in a bottle, Malik Neighbors out of LSU. So, with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, all 3 quarterbacks gone that I think are valued as a top 6 pick, and the 2 top wide receivers gone, who does Mel Kiper have the Giants selecting? Well, with the 6th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, Mel Kiper has Rome Odunze, the 6'3" wide receiver out of Washington, putting on the New York Giants draft hat. And I think this does make some sense for the New York Giants. As we know, the Giants need more weapons. They were one of the worst offense in recent NFL history. And anytime you could add a playmaker like Odunze on the outside, that should theoretically help with that. Let's go to what Mel Kiper had to say. I'll tell you what I think of this pick coming up in a second, but he said they need a big-time wide receiver. Malik Neighbors, who is off the board, Rome Odunze would make an awful lot of sense here. You need a pass rusher, opposite of Kayvon Thibodeau, who had a heck of a year, but there's nobody to take at this point. So you go to Rome Odunze. Odunze is special because of the consistency, week in and week out. Tremendous catch radius in great hands. And I agree with absolutely all that. I have Rome Odunze as tied with Malik Neighbors as the second best receiver in this class. It's just like, do you like vanilla ice cream or do you like chocolate ice cream? And Rome Odunze, you got a guy that's 6'3", that's on the outside. He's more of the Mike Evans build. Whereas Malik Neighbors is 6 foot, yards after catch, more of that Stephon Diggs build, if you will. I think they're both going to be really good in this league. I'll tell you what I think of this pick, though, coming up around the corner, but I want to hear from you first. Grade the pick of Rome Odunze to the Giants at number 6. A, B, C, D, or F. Get out your red pen and be honest. Grade Mel Kiper's pick of Odunze to the Giants at number 6. For me, this is just a B. Not an A, not an A minus, not a B plus, but a B for several different reasons. He's a good player. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Rome Odunze. but I can't take him over players that were on the board at bigger positions of need for the New York Giants. I'll tell you who I would have took at pick number 6 in this type of falling of the draft order, but I need to make sure you guys are hooked up with our proud sponsor, Factor. Go to factormeals.com/GiantsChat50. Use that promo code GiantsChat50 and get 50% off. If you've tried the whole meal prepping thing, you've tried the whole grocery store thing, and you don't like it, and you continue to spend way too much money on takeout, you need to give Factor a try. Fresh, never frozen meals that take just 2 minutes to heat up in the microwave. They're chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals that you can choose from different packages of meals that fit your health and journey, health and lifestyle and fitness goals. If you're looking for low carb, keto, they have that. High protein, they have that. Low calorie, they have that. Vegan or veggie, they also have that. And they have options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Head to factormeals.com/GiantsChat50. Use that promo code GiantsChat50. Support the show, support the sponsor. I would really, really appreciate it. Rome Odunze is a really good wide receiver. And I think Odunze is going to be a stud in the National Football League. I just can't take him at pick number 6. But let's talk about how good of a player he is, because this might be a possibility for the New York Giants. 6'3", probably going to come in at a 4.4, 4.5, can run a lot of routes on the route tree. He's a vertical threat. He's a jump ball guy. Huge catch radius. Strong hands at the point of attack. He can high point a football. But what's underrated about him is his ability, in my opinion, to get yards after the catch. How many times did we see him catch a screen pass and get north and south and eat up that green grass? I also like that he is a productive and elite player for 2 years in college. This year in 15 games, the guy had 92 catches for almost 1,700 yards at 18 yards per catch. He was a big play threat downfield all year long for Michael Penix. 13 touchdowns. And then in 2022, very similar production. Took it up a notch this year. Still really good numbers. 75 grabs, 1,200 yards, 15-plus yards per catch, and 7 touchdowns. But it's not just Mel Kiper who has mocked Rome Odunze to the Giants at number 6. In my opinion, the best NFL draft expert there is, Dane Brugler, who works for The Athletic, recently put out his mock draft, and he also had Odunze going to the Giants. And not only that, he had the Giants selecting Rome Odunze over Jaden Daniels. This was his explanation. With his size and speed profile and ability to play through contact, Odunze is a quarterback-friendly target with the tools to be a legitimate number 1 option. The Giants haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2018. But Odunze might change that as a rookie. Look, you get a rookie receiver to come in and give you 1,000 yards. That's awesome. But for me, he is not the 6th best player in this draft. And that's no disrespect to him. I can't take him number 6. There are better players on the board when it comes to just football players that fit bigger needs for the Giants. If the draft fell the way it did, and Joe Alt is on the board at number 6, and Joe Alt is not the pick for the New York Giants, I am going to be in shambles. The New York Giants have the worst offensive line in the National Football League. They gave up the 2nd most sacks of all time. Not 2nd most this year, not 2nd most in the last 5 years, the 2nd most sacks in NFL history. I can't take wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 2B over offensive tackle number 1. I believe that Joe Alt is not just going to walk into the National Football League and be a top tackle. I believe Joe Alt is going to be wearing a gold jacket when his career is over. I believe he is going to be this generation's Joe Thomas. He is going to be a stud. And every night before I go to bed and put my head on my nice little pillow, I say, God, please make sure Joe Alt is there at number 6. Because I want to live in a world where I got Andrew Thomas on the left, and I got Joe Alt on the right, and hopefully a young stud center and John Michael Schmitz. Because I want to root for a football team that's got a good offensive line. I forgot what that felt like. The main reason, though, can the Giants survive with Evan Neal at right tackle? If so, for how long? You got a boat, and there's a hole in it, and it's leaking. Evan Neal is the hole. It is going to flood. The ship is going to sink. Evan is fine. He's okay. He's not a starting right tackle on a good football team. Too injury prone, and I don't think he's good enough to be a starter. Try him at right guard? Sure. You get that opportunity if you draft Joe Alt. I don't want to see another snap with that guy playing right tackle for this football team. I'll ask you this question. If you're on the clock at number 6 and Rome Odunze is there and Joe Alt is there, who would you pick? And there's no wrong answers. You may be getting the second best receiver in the draft, and the Giants need a receiver. I just think this is a little bit bigger of a need. RO for Odunze, JA for Joe Alt. Give me the big fella, Joe Alt. That's the face of a Hall of Famer right there. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. We'd appreciate it. Let's go, G-Men.